Alrighty, welcome back to Aerith's Revenge Challenge. Great to have everybody back. Today is an exciting day. We are going to take down Emerald and possibly finish the game. But before we go attempt again, we're going to level up some stuff because, like I said last week, we could just Knights of the Round mime and just obliterate them, but that's no fun. I would rather potentially solo Aerith, bonk him to death. That would be really fun. Given that this is probably going to be the hardest fight, it's definitely going to be the hardest fight, because after this, we're gonna superpower Aerith. So yeah, this is going to be like the final boss of the challenge. And so I want to make it extra interesting. So we're going to go level up some stuff so that we can try to bonk Emerald Weapon into submission. So that's the plan. And I don't need to level up much. I need more counterattack, and another Ultima would be nice, but I don't think we're going to be able to get that. And then, yeah, my only real worry is the time limit after that. The time limit's going to be tough. Which is another reason why I definitely want to level up some stuff. Yeah, so we're going to do Emerald, and then we're going to superpower so that we can see how strong Aerith can truly be late game. And part of that will be taking out Ruby, but at that point we're going to be superpowered, so Ruby shouldn't be too big of a problem. We'll see. Maybe it's a bigger problem than I'm thinking. But I doubt it. Especially if we get Dazers, or we could even use actually, no. I don't think Aerith's limit works on Ruby. It's stop, not paralyze. Cross Slash does, but not Seal Evil. Unless I got him. Well, I know that Seal Evil does stop and Cross Slash does paralyze, but do Dazers paralyze or stop? I'm pretty sure they paralyze. And same with Hades. Or maybe both work. I'm pretty sure stop doesn't work. Oh. I was thinking about getting... let me see here. I was thinking maybe grabbing XP plus, but I kind of want to stay a lower level. Hey, good to see you, Flump. Good to see you, Jam. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We're a week out from Christmas. It's kind of wild. I seriously can't believe Christmas is next week. But happy early Christmas and holidays to everybody. Yo, Jam, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate you, man. So the only people I need to shop for are my parents. And I was like, I'll go out this weekend and grab them something. Because I have to grab stuff for my wife's stocking anyways. I always get her stocking stuff like the weekend before Christmas because I usually get like chocolate. I don't want the chocolate sitting in the stocking like for 3 weeks. It's like, oh, I'll just get it when I go to get her stocking stuff. And then I realized that we're doing Christmas with my parents the weekend before Christmas, which is literally this weekend. This weekend is the weekend before Christmas. I'm like, uh-oh. That's not gonna work, so I'm gonna have to go like this week sometime. Oh, I already got another Ultima. Nice. I just gotta... Okay, this'll work. Okay, so we want... counterattack is the biggest thing. And then... I don't need to level up HP Absorb. Probably an HP plus. Just give you a bunch of crap to level up. Alright, good start. Holy damage. Ultima leveled up in one fight. That's crazy. The double magic pot triple is sufficiently cracked. I usually fight in the second room. It feels like you get more pots there. I'll do one more fight in here and then save and then go into that second room. I've never actually looked up if you do, but it always feels like you do. Wow, 2 in a row. How's it going, Hate Noel? I'm tempted to try to get Aerith's limits also, just because I think it would be more fun. But I don't think it's going to be necessary, but it'd be kind of cool to use her limits in Emerald. I don't even need Great Gospel. Fortunately, we're not really going to get many limits down here. Yeah, it could be fun. You kind of have to like go in with a strat with Great Gospel because it takes so long to charge. Even with Fury, I don't know if we'd be able to charge it fast enough to really like use it in the Emerald fight predictably. And also I want Sadness anyways for the fight, so it's going to take even longer to charge. Maybe I should kill this guy for XP. It takes so long to kill though. Hello? Run. I can put the game on active. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to run on weight. Sorry for this cough. I thought I was done coughing and then suddenly it came back. I shouldn't have done that. I want Red 13's limit for... Well, I guess I don't need it. Cut back on the coffee. You want me to, like, die or something? I need my coffee. How's it going, Captain? Yeah, it's just the nice MP. It's just the way colds go. It's going through all the different phases. Is that all that mastered? A few levels is going to help a lot too, just to get that little extra damage I need. I'm really just worried about the timer. More counterattacks will help. The plan is to solo Emerald as kind of a final boss, and then we're just going to kind of have fun with Safer. We're going to super juice Aerith and watch her go ham. Show how strong she can truly be in late game. Then we'll have some fun with Ruby too. Clang! Counterattack is used to get rid of the eyes, which manipulates his AI to not air tam storm us. It's important to have counterattack or some way to get rid of the eyes when you're doing a solo on Emerald, because you just don't get enough turns to get rid of all the eyes, and then you get air tammed. So having the counterattacks ensures that no matter what, the eyes will die. Yeah, Aerith has a animation for everything, which some people pointed out is kind of weird. It is kind of weird, because, like, I would imagine, like, from a game dev perspective, it was maybe just easier to, like, do one for everybody when they were, instead of trying to, like, figure out what could you realistically have at this point. Instead, they were just like, do one for everybody, you know. But what's weird is that's not really the typical way of doing things when it came to this specific team. We've seen in a lot of different parts of this game that if something wasn't needed, they didn't do it. Like, they cut a lot of corners in this game. And I don't mean that in, like, a negative way. I mean it in, like, they knew exactly what they needed, and they only worked on the things they needed. And they didn't waste time doing things they didn't need. And that's pretty, like, obvious from a lot of the, you just look at, like, a lot of the stuff and how they made it. So it is kind of weird that they took the time to make animations for a lot of things with Aerith that aren't needed. Good games are like that, yeah. Like, a good developing team will very quickly create a flow chart of, like, what they need and stick to it and not just be making crap that's never used. And given how quickly they had to make this game, it makes sense that they would attack it in that way. But yeah, it is like weird that they made all the animations for Aerith, and I don't think it was a question of like they didn't know that Aerith wouldn't make it that far right away, because they knew pretty early. The only thing that I've seen is that there's very good evidence to prove that they thought Aerith would die at North Crater instead of City for quite a while. And that's evidenced by like the dialogue she has in the Great Glacier and like all the magic stuff that's in Great Glacier and a lot of other things. So that's pretty like, that makes sense. But in terms of going even further, it does not seem like they ever had an idea to have her go past North Crater. And obviously 4X cuts past North Crater. I mean, like, I seriously doubt this is the reason, but there is a small chance that they took into consideration people using Game Shark. You know, like, Game Shark was a thing at that point, and, like, I don't remember if this game had any official Game Shark codes. But there could have been a thought process of, like, you know, just in case, let's go ahead and make these. I seriously doubt that, though. That's not very common. Developers don't make games based on codes or anything like that. But you never know. Yeah, that's also a good thought, is like maybe it's 4X cut. Maybe it's not Aerith. Maybe it's 4X cut that they had earlier in the game and then moved it, or just hadn't created it till later and they just did the animations for it before placing it in the game. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. How's it going, Falcon? Alright, so I want to get counterattack. I mean, I think 4 stars is enough. I think that's 100% in it. Pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna super juice her. done with Emerald. See how crazy she can get. Although I already know how crazy she can get. So I've done it before. No, they knew Aerith was gonna die. Like, that was one of the first things they created before starting the game development. They had to choose. When they created Cloud, Barret, and Aerith, they chose between Barret and Aerith who was gonna die. Long before they made any of the other characters and started actual programming of the game, like just the writing process, they picked Aerith really early. At least from my research, that's what I found. Well, so they only had... I talk about this in the Aerith in-depth, but... They only had Cloud, Barret, and Aerith designed. Nobody else was designed yet. And they said, we want somebody to die. Like, they just decided that was part of the story. Someone was going to die. And so... They were trying to decide, do we want the love interest to die, or do we want the best friend to die? That was their two options. What would be more impactful? What would go with the story better? Like, you know, which one should we pick? And then, from what I read, they decided that... what was it? Barret was... I think, like, Barret's death wouldn't work as well because Cloud and Barret didn't really start off as friends. They, like, you know, argue and stuff. So they thought it wouldn't make much sense for him to die. So they went with Aerith instead. And this was, like, before they even, you know, wrote the story out to the point where it made sense. Like, oh, Aerith is the martyr for the planet, and et cetera, et cetera. And, like, Tifa hadn't even been created yet. This was just, like, very base, like, what do we want the game to be about? How's it going, Marsh? Very good. We got Red 13's limit back. Oh, it sucks in every version of the game. Alright, so this should be enough, I believe. No, never mind. I think I'm thinking of New Threat. Aerith dying to me wasn't emotional. She was a dedicated healer and I invested so much XP into her as one of my main three. Why wouldn't it be emotional then? That sounds like an argument as to why it would be emotional. Gotta make sure to get her final limit break before Temple. Trust me. I'm glad glad you enjoyed the end of Scavenger Marsh. It's cool seeing you take on the crazy challenge of the finale. I wasn't invested in Aerith, the character. I was invested in the character as a heal bot. Oh, so you're saying it was emotional, but for not the other reason. Yeah, it's one of the cool things about it is that there's multiple reasons that you might be sad in the moment. Even if you're not really following or understanding the story, you can still be sad about it just because you lost a character. I mean, a lot of us as kids didn't really get it either, you know? Just because we were kids. So, like... it's cool that it hits in multiple ways, because I'm sure as a kid I didn't really get it that much. But I was still sad, because I was like, we're losing a character. And I knew I was supposed to be sad, but... you know, kids. You know how kids are. I think I was like, I really can't remember, it was too long ago, but I feel like I was like in awe more than I was sad, if that makes sense. Like the whole scene was like so epic and I was just like blown away by like the look of it. Because as I've said before, it was my first game that wasn't like Mario. So I was just blown away by, like, even just the graphics of the beginning of the game. So, like, that cutscene definitely, like, blew me away. And then the music and the big boss fight and, like, all that. I was probably more just in awe of the game and its technical marvel of, like, the cutscenes and taking away a character and having it all work and stuff. More than I was, like... emotionally sad. And then obviously I played it when I got a bit older and understood the story more. She went down into the water and then I couldn't pick her anymore. She turned into a mermaid. I can't have mermaids on my team. I guess Cloud hates mermaids. The heck, Cloud? Why do you hate mermaids, Cloud? He def 100% sealed the deal with her. Is it not Is it lost on you that that scene is supposed to be like, come to your own conclusion? Or, I mean, okay, let's ask this. Let's ask this. If there's a scene in a video game that the developer wants to do, but then it gets cut, is that scene canon? Because the developer wanted to do it, but it's not in the final product that we all played. So does that count as canon? I would say no, but you can make inferences, you know. Oh, the fact that they wanted to have a scene where they did the deed, and then they couldn't because it was too raunchy. So then they did a scene where it seems like they did the thing. Like, you can infer that, like, okay, yeah, they probably did the thing. You know what I mean? You can headcanon it, but you can't actual canon it, correct? When talking about actual canon, when I make a video about Cloud, I can't say they 100% did it. But I can say we're going to infer that they did it. You know, given the context and given what they wanted to do, etc. But, like, I can't literally say it's canon. No, swears are not automatically censored. You gotta come up with your own other word. You gotta go back to 3rd grade when everyone was walking around saying shiitake mushroom and HE double hockey sticks. And everyone was like, oh. He said, what? You lint liquor. Should be almost there. Nice. My favorite battle. Remember we used to play BS, the card game, and when the teachers would ask us what it's called, we'd have to come up with something. War 2? Multiplayer solitaire? Euchre? At church you would call it I doubt it. That's amazing. Would you have to yell that at people? 2 3s. I doubt it. If only we had today's vocabulary, it could have been like susamogus. That's pretty susamogus. I was in the vent. I was in the vent, I swear. Kids are definitely gonna call it sus. they play it now. I don't know if they still play that game. That is unlikely, good sir. Please reveal your cards. I feel like kids don't play card games anymore. I would not know. My son is not... My oldest son is not old enough to, like, play cards at school yet. So I guess I'll know in a couple years. I mean, they still play TCGs. But yeah, in terms of, like, the classic Hoyle games, War, Euchre, Egyptian Rat Screw, BS. I mean, that was our stuff, man. That was every day we played. And TCGs were a thing. TCGs were a big thing, but there was just something about... I don't know, you just needed a deck of cards, I guess. It was just easy to play and get everyone involved. You didn't have to have a collection, you know. You just had to have a deck of cards and everyone could play, so... And I think the other thing too is a lot of us grew up with parents that played card games, so we learned them, you know. But I don't think a lot of us are playing those types of card games with our kids, so they're not really learning them. Like, I used to play hearts and spades and euchre with my family when I was like 8, all the time. So when I got to school and they were like, hey, we're playing euchre, I could jump right in. Tell me you're from the Midwest without saying you're from the Midwest. I mean... Ohio isn't Midwest. Kappa. Dude, spades is so fun. Ohio lives in some kind of like special realm. I know how to play a lot of card games. I used to be big into cards. Like, I used to have dreams of being a magician or like a poker dealer. I used to watch poker all the time. I played a bunch of card games with my family growing up. I had like a little mini collection of different Hoyle card boxes and stuff. Like, I have a set from Vegas that has like the hole punched through them, and when I used to go on vacations with my family, I would always buy a pack of cards somewhere. That was like my little collectible. Like, my mom would buy a shot glass anywhere we visited. I would buy a pack of cards. I had dreams of being a literal dark magician. I tell you what, I'm glad I decided to not be a magician. My wife, knowing that I grew up wanting to be... that's a little bit of a stretch. Like, I think I was into Magic and card games a bit more than the standard kid, but I definitely never went like super crazy. I remember like I got a Magic set for Christmas one year, and I like put on a Magic show for my family and would like show people magic tricks sometimes. And I used magic tricks to flirt a lot. Not a lot, a good amount. That was my move, you know. That was my in. Was a magic trick. That was my riz. So, like, yeah, a little bit more, but, like, every kid gets into card tricks at some point a little bit, like a magic set and stuff, so I was never, like, actually invested in it to the point where I was, like, trying to make it a career. I was just into it for a while. But my wife knew that I enjoyed magic more than the typical human being, so she took me to a magic show, like, last year, actually. It was, like, my birthday present last year. She took me to a magic show. And I tell you what, I'm glad I didn't become a magician, because that was kind of painful to watch. Like, it wasn't bad, but, like, I don't know, man. It's when you go and see a magic show that's not, like, literal David Blaine, it's like 90% audience manipulation and like 10% magic. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about the entertainment, and like 90% of the tricks are like audience participation, and there's really like nothing that's, I don't know, it's just not, it's not what I would have enjoyed. I enjoyed the actual magic side of it, but I wouldn't have enjoyed like literally anything else about it. I wouldn't have enjoyed being on stage. I wouldn't have enjoyed working the audience. I wouldn't have enjoyed like any of that. I only would have enjoyed the actual magic part, which is like 10% of it. So yeah, glad I didn't go down that path. Because that's the only way you make a living as a magician. That is the only way. You do shows and you work the audience. It really doesn't matter how good of a magician you really are, you know? Unless you're literally designing tricks and like selling books, which is like 0.01% of magicians. You're really just a performer. You're a performer, but your performance is magic. You know what I mean? You're basically a clown, but instead of dressing up, you do magic. Like, genuinely, that's kind of the way it is. Like, and if you make it big, then you get to do a show, and that's a bit different. That's more of like being a star of a theater play, but instead of a theater play, it's magic. But still, like 90% of it is your charisma and ability to work the crowd, and the magic is really, for the most part, you're doing pretty simplistic magic that just works on an audience, you know? You're not doing Penn and Teller's show where you're like trying to create a new trick that's gonna confuse everybody. Like, you're just doing the same stuff every other magician does. So yeah, I would not have enjoyed that. Yeah, they're very close to stand-up comedians. And I mean, so much of magic is like comedy, which I think I would have been good at that, but you ever seen what's his name? Piff, the Magic Dragon? That would have been my magic act for sure. Just like the driest magic act ever. No, it's Piff. Puff, that's the joke, because it's not Puff. It's Piff. He dresses up in a dragon costume and just does, like, the most dry humor you've ever heard in your life and does magic. It's hilarious. He's really funny. He has a brother called Steve. Yeah, I think that would have been like my type of act. But yeah, I mean they really are stand-up comedians, but they're not doing a stand-up set, you know. So yeah, it's very much not about the magic. But that's a lot of careers. Like, you get into a career wanting to do the thing you like, but then like 90% of the job is not that thing you like. That's pretty common of a lot of careers. I would imagine that probably 90% of the people here like wishes they did the thing they like about their job more often, but instead they're like always doing paper. Like my wife, for example, she loves teaching kids, but teaching is like 30% teaching kids, 70% paperwork, you know? 10% crazy parents, yeah. What percent is patience? 9,000%. Also, my wife is a special ed teacher, so it's more like 10% seeing kids and 90% paperwork. Because the amount of paperwork she has to do is like insane. Just absolutely insane. I remember she was like talking to a parent who was reading over like her kid's ISP. And she was like, man, there's just so much. Like, how do I read all this? And she's like, you think that's bad? I had to write 20 of these, and they're for kids that aren't my kid. You just have to read the one for your kid. Like, you're actually invested in this paperwork that you're reading. I have to do it for a bunch of kids that aren't even mine. Alright, let's see what we can do. So, this is what I'm thinking. Really sucks we only have... I mean, we could equip the fairy tale, but the less materia slots are gonna suck. Or, sorry, the less damage is gonna suck. But the materia slots would help, but they're also not connected, so I guess that's a rip anyways. Alright, so... we're gonna have to go with the Mistile. I wanted to go with the Zydric, but we just don't have enough materia slots. Am I really, like, just this far gone? I swear this leveled up. I swear on my life this mastered. Apparently it's 100 away? How did that happen? Am I crazy? How is it 100 away? Yo, Lou! Thank you very much for the $10 tip. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Dude, I swear it said master. Or maybe I just, like, my brain just worked ahead of itself, and it was like, oh, I'll just get 100 when I get out, and then immediately forgot I thought that. I don't know, man. It's so over for me. Yo, yeah, thank you for the gifted sub to Christ, so welcome back. Is Final Fantasy VII the Final Fantasy with most status effects and elemental effects? I would say probably not the most status effects, but probably the most elements. Final Fantasy VII is probably the game with the most elements, period. I can't think of another video game that has more elements. And I've played Pokemon before. Yeah, this game has an insane amount of elements because it has like 9 physical elements that are all hidden. It was kind of their way of being like, well, a sword is good against a plant, but it's not as good against a robot. So they created all these physical elements that are hidden from the player. And then depending on what style of attack you're doing, it can do more or less, depending on what you're hitting. Which is pretty cool. It's hidden from the player, so like, it doesn't really, you're not even going to know it's affecting you, but it is pretty cool. I think that's good.